I'm in Sleepy Hollow, otherwise known as Geelong. Often dismissed as Melbourne's underdog, Geelong was considered a lifeless town. Its economy, previously dominated by big players like Federal Mills, Ford and Alcoa, experienced significant challenges as these industries declined. The loss of such major employers led to job cuts and economic downturns, leaving many to question this city's future. But despite the setbacks, Geelong has surged forward. According to the City of Greater Geelong, there's now an estimated 145,000 local jobs and nearly 23,000 businesses in the area. The job rate has increased on average by 4.5% per annum over the last 5 years, meaning it's outpaced every other similar city in Australia. And the population is expected to increase by half its current number to more than 440,000 people over the next 2 decades. So how has Geelong turned itself around and become a desirable place to live and work? That's what I'm here to discover.
People relocate to new places to be closer to what matters to them. Often that's having a stronger sense of community and better access to the outdoors. In Geelong, Corio Bay isn't just a view, it's a way of life. Locals sail, socialise and slow down on it or near it. David Nalder, sailing coordinator at the Royal Geelong Yacht Club, moved from New Zealand, yeah, he's one of them, to Geelong less than 1 year ago.
Ran my finger down the map and saw Geelong and thought, oh yeah, it had a yacht club, nice coast and looked good. So we came and had a bit of a look and thought, this is pretty nice. And then a job came up at the yacht club.
Right. So you don't regret it?
No, loving it.
Staying here for good now, you think?
Yeah, well that's the plan at this stage.
So in terms of the corporate training then, so you're getting corporates from the area, maybe from Melbourne, maybe internationally, jumping on the boat, what are they doing?
Often it's team building exercises, or it's part of a day where they're doing a number of different things, and we'll combine it with a great race type on land event that they might do before or after. We'll usually do a couple of a series of little races out here if they want to, so we'll get them into teams and that can become quite fun but competitive at the same time.
And so the purpose of it is each and every person will be out here, they'd be tasked with a different responsibility of sailing.
Yeah, so normally 4 plus a skipper, and at any one time 2 can be actively controlling something. So steering's 1. The main sheet, which controls the main sail, is another one. And there's the equivalent for the front sail called the jib sheet. Ropes that control sails, like this one, are called sheets. They generally love it. It's often people that have never sailed before.
Are you noticing a lot of new people coming through, trying sailing at your yacht club?
Yeah, so the other thing we do is, as part of Festival of Sails, which is in January each year, we run a Discover Sailing across 2 days. As sort of part of the festival, but not part of the racing, just for the public to come and have a go on these. People can sign up to just come and have a go. We put over 400 people through that last Festival of Sails.
In terms of your membership, how many have you got at the club?
Around the 1,000 mark, just over 1,000.
Oh wow. There's how many boats? How many yachts have you got?
So the marina holds 250. So they all have to be members to be in the marina.
I'm assured by David that this boat cannot capsize due to a 6-foot keel underneath it. So without fear of drowning, I've been tasked with sailing this baby home with the help of skipper Geoff Newman. He's been sailing these waters for 40 years and he loves it here.
I particularly like it because of the conditions we're in right now. Flat water is just beautiful. And the other thing I like too is winter sailing, because it's usually, when we race in winter here, it's usually a lovely sunny day. Sure, it's chilly, but it's a lovely steady breeze. Just the winter series is my favourite time of the year here.
Out of 10, and be kind.
Yes.
What are my skills like so far?
So far, adequate. No, you're doing a good job. You're going to steer us back that way, okay? So when we come about, you need to steer the thing and go, right, oh yeah, it was that building.
Okay.
Okay, so that's, so I'll keep an eye on you as you go.
I think that's a good idea.
So yeah, so you can just poke us around, take us right round, and then you have to walk through that gap.
Through here?
Yes.
While holding the thing?
Yeah, so it goes that way. That's it, head down, keep going. And now get your tiller back where it's supposed to be, back up on your, that's it, keep going. Your sail will fill. Just like keep going, we just need that sail fill.
Favourite spots in Geelong?
Well, I'm off out to lunch this afternoon and I'm going to my favourite restaurant in the place, and it's called Nichols Paddock, and it is fantastic.
What do they do?
They do a thing where, well, we're going in for lunch at 12:30 today and we won't leave until about 4:30.
Gee, I wonder why.
It just goes on and on and on.
No, you go on and on and on.
Yeah, it's
Why is Geelong good for people who are into water sports or want to live by the water?
It's got some of the best surf breaks in the country with, you know, things like Bells Beach and Winky and Steps. And then you've got, you know, the flat water here to go jet skiing, go sailing, paddle boarding, whatever you'd like to do. And there's also lovely bay beaches and fantastic coastal beaches. So yeah, I think with all that, it's, you know, I think it's great, yeah.
You know a place is surging when all three levels of government agree to revitalise it. The Geelong City deal aims to grow tourism, create more jobs and diversify the local economy in Geelong and throughout the Great Ocean Road. Rick Aylett, General Manager of Nyaal Banyul Convention and Event Centre, explains why this development is central to the deal.
In 2019, the three levels of government signed what they called the Geelong City Deal, a $676 million project to revitalise and transform Geelong. Now Banyul is the centrepiece of that for the business it will bring intrastate, nationally and internationally. It will elevate Geelong and put Geelong on the global business event stage. The site itself, overlooking Corio Bay, close proximity to the CBD. We have 3,700 square metres of event space, a 1,000-seat theatrette. It aligns with the identity of Geelong and the story of Geelong. The site that it's on, which was a gathering place for the Waterfront for 65,000 years. They shared song and dance and solutions and problems and information, and it also aligns with Geelong being a UNESCO City of Design. What Nyaal Banyul does is it really sort of tells the story of the past with Waterfront. This is also representing the future of Geelong and how it can be transformative for Geelong.
So why was it really important for you to be respectful to the traditional owners of the land?
The journey that we've gone on with the Waterfront over the last more than three and a half years now has really been eye-opening for us as an organisation, as individuals, and we really respect what this country means to them, and we really respect their contribution to this site. They've been involved in the architecture, the interior design, the storytelling, naming the rooms. They'll be involved throughout when we go into operational phase and when we open the door.
Roan is a Geelong-born artist who created this 88-metre mural featuring 14 faces, including 7 Warawurrung people.
We're nearing completion. We're less than a year away before the doors are officially open. Who can use the facilities?
Everyone can use the facilities, Luke. The flexibility allows it to be used for multi-day conferences and exhibitions, business events, live events, community events. It aligns with Geelong's priorities: education, health, agribusiness, advanced manufacturing.
Opening along with Nyaal Banyul is a 200-room Crown Plaza hotel. It's going to offer premium accommodation for delegates and visitors to the region.
What about on the international stage? Because I know you're eyeing off some big conferences and want to attract those international players.
Yeah.
How do you get them to come down to Geelong?
Our research tells us that there's a big shift to regional venues, and Geelong is now the fastest growing city in Australia. It has a lot to offer with its coastal lifestyle, its proximity to Melbourne, the interest and investment in infrastructure. There's a real shift in Geelong and what it can offer. That's what will attract a lot of the delegates and a lot of the international business. It gives great exposure, or contributes to the exposure of Geelong as a destination.
If an international business was to say, we're going to do a conference here, what would you then recommend that they go and do after the conference?
First of all, I love the community spirit, because even though there's a lot of investment and a lot of growth, a lot of opportunity, there's still a real community feel about Geelong. I think that's the secret. As it grows, we need to keep that soul of Geelong as well. There's plenty of wineries, there's sailing, there's just so many things you can do, all within close proximity.
Sounds like you might not actually want to go to the conference if you come here. Of course you would.
Of course they would. In the conferences, sometimes there is that 3 or 4 hour gap or an afternoon. So why wouldn't some delegates go down, go to Port Arlington Mussels or down to the Sports Museum at GMHBA Stadium, the Arts Centre?
There you go.
This is what Geelong's got to offer.
Looking forward though, when this has been complete and it's been around for, let's say, a decade, what do you think Geelong's going to look like?
The city centre, the CBD, you'll see more growth there. You'll see more infrastructure built there. You'll see residential and commercial. I think that's really important to contribute to the growth of Geelong.
You're a Melburnian. You haven't yet made the move down to Geelong.
Correct.
You drive here every day, sometimes on the V line as well.
Yeah,
Are you considering moving down here?
Absolutely.
Why do you think people should?
This just offers a great lifestyle. It's sort of coastal, but there's business happening, there's infrastructure, there's investment happening. You still get that cut and thrust of the business and the challenges. Go for a walk down to Eastern Beach, it resets your mind, and it's just a super relaxing place with a great vibe. Not a great description, I know, but
No,
really,
it's genuine. That's the
sort of-
thing though, so it
it sort of,
works.
sums it up.
These red brick walls have seen generations of Geelong at work. Federal Mills was once a major woolen mill that powered Geelong's industrial economy. Now, these same bricks house a co-working space, creative studios, cafes, restaurants, and some of the region's fastest growing businesses. Federal Mills stands as a bridge between what Geelong was and what it's becoming. Cameron Hamilton, Managing Director of the Hamilton Group, brought this vision to life.
Federal Mills is a site we've had an eye on for a long time. We've always specialised in underutilised assets around Geelong. We tried to buy 3 times before we actually did buy it, so 3rd time lucky, and we purchased it in 2013. Just remember looking in it and going, wow, something good has to happen here.
Something good has happened here. I mean, it looks magnificent. How do you do it though?
We sort of figured out, it's like, hang on, we've got something good here. Let's celebrate what we've got rather than just trying to turn it into an updated modern version, I suppose. 2007, 2008 sort of time that we really started focusing on the key assets that they hold and the heritage that's behind it.
How did you identify what was needed though? There's a real different mix of businesses and hospitality, whatever industries out there.
This was a troubled site. It stopped operations as a woolen mill in 2001. The preceding 12 years after that, it tried everything from paintball to go-karts, all the rest of it. There was, I think, 13 ministerial call-ins when an application that had been approved. The site itself is Victorian Heritage listed, so it's got restrictions in that. We set about a master planning process with council and the surrounding stakeholders to sort of say, what can we have here? Can't be industrial, just doesn't have the access, not the height, not the clear span, anything like that. It's decided that office is less detrimental to the surrounding areas. The food and drink and uses, the gyms, have all played a supporting role to the office environment.
Cameron encapsulates Geelong perfectly. Much like the city, there's no illusions of grandeur about him. Okay, so there are a few.
Cameron, only an egomaniac would name a restaurant after themselves.
Well, that's exactly what I've done.
What do you think this site would be like if you weren't here or if you didn't develop it?
When we came here, and it's 28,000 square metres of building area, and we knocked over about 7,000 square metres of space. As we went through it, it was pretty clear that there had been no maintenance and nothing for, essentially since 2001. So I think it only had another 15 years before it was really going to start to degrade. It could have been dire, but I'm quite happy with what we've achieved out here. I think one of the things is just the occupancy of the individual tenants. People feel good in the space. We think that's the reason why a lot of people like to occupy the office space here, and they'll get people coming into work rather than staying home. But we wanted somewhere fun, so you'll walk through and you'll see all the games we've added. We've got karaoke down the back. It's just somewhere where people can come in, and it does everything's sort of got that workplace focus. So it's sort of like, all right, team building.
What do you think the future is going to look like for Geelong and for those people who are relocating here?
It's interesting because you look at Geelong's manufacturing heritage, and as a town we were so scared of losing that. That was opportunity for Geelong. The fact that changed led to a lot of the white-collar jobs. And that then boosted the cafes and all the rest of it. So all of a sudden, Geelong was seen as a viable alternative. hey, I can live down there, I'm close to the coast, and I can still do the things that I did up the road in Melbourne. People are starting to see the good parts of Geelong, and we do have, you know, lots of things to do. Places like this establishment, got golf courses, you've got the beaches.
Take the kids for that one, do you?
Yeah, absolutely. Spend some time at the beach, and you know, I think Geelong offers the best of, you know, both worlds, or all worlds, in reference to that. So we have DJs and that on Friday, Saturday nights, and we're still working through the details, but we'll have open mic nights. We've got shuffleboard over here, darts, the pool tables, bowling lanes, and of course the karaoke rooms.
How do you think Hamilton Group is going to shape the future of Geelong?
We've purchased another 2 similar sites to this, and it's just all about reinvigorating these areas that used to be a hub of activity. We'll look at a mix of accommodation, food and drink, more retail down there. We seem to have made our mark on these older buildings. Got a bit of a stamp on how we do things, so we'll continue to do that, and where there's demand for things, we'll provide it.
Have accommodation, because it's the missing piece, isn't it? Otherwise you would never have to leave.
Yeah, well, that's exactly why I don't have it. I've got to go home at some stage.
Geelong seems like utopia, right? It's good, but it ain't that. Like everywhere else, the rising cost of utilities, transport, healthcare and groceries is impacting this city too. The Geelong Community Foundation's Vital Signs 2023-24 report suggests that these factors have resulted in a quadrupling of the number of people struggling financially in the region in just 3 years, jumping from 4.8% to 18.2%. Patrick Lanyon, Operations Manager of Geelong Foodshare, leads a team of volunteers doing their bit for the community.
What we do here is taking the pressure off the recipient agencies to do their own sorting. So we'll pick it up in the morning, we'll bring it in, this will be sorted today, and then it will be gone within the next 24 hours, either in our shop or via our bulk distribution. The logistics is really important around food rescue. Ultimately what happens is if we don't get the timing right, it goes to a farmer to feed animals. So it's not going to landfill.
In terms of the decision-making process as to what makes it or what doesn't make it after it's arrived, what sort of quality assurance processes have you got in play?
That's where our volunteers are essential. So they are that quality assurance. We train them on what is good versus what is not. It becomes a bit of a judgment thing where something that looks really squishy and poor, that is not Woolworths or Coles standard quality on the shelf, still perfectly good to cook with.
So you've got 200 volunteers working here now. What's it like a day's operation in the facility here?
Yeah, managing volunteers is very rewarding and very challenging at the same time.
Yes, so it would be.
Our volunteers are wonderful, and this place wouldn't operate without them, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're helping upwards of 20,000 people per week, right? That's a huge operation. How did you get to that sort of scale?
We wouldn't be here if there wasn't the need, and that need is growing. You only need to look at the news to see cost of living pressures, and the food is there, sort of. And so we've been able to basically just sort of refine that process a little bit to ensure that the food's not going to landfill and that the people who need the food are getting it. The agencies that we support are very grateful. And then the supermarket side, where customers coming in are getting enormous value. The normal process is someone accessing the supermarket will be given a voucher that they can redeem here. We usually say a 20-point voucher equates to approximately $200 worth of groceries. We always try to guide people towards making healthy choices. Yeah. This is the finished sorting. So they put it all into its types, and then from here, this will either go into our supermarket onto the shelves, or we distribute it directly to our partner agencies.
And that'll just be loaded up on a truck, off it goes to where it needs to.
As a rising cost of living continues to put pressure on household budgets, Geelong Foodshare has realised it needs to expand its operations. Not because they want to, but because they have to.
So we're delivering to over 70 agencies in Geelong, Southwest Barwon, Golden Plains Shire. We tailor what we send to them based on their programs.
So you're outside of Geelong city limits now into other communities. Do you think that's going to grow beyond that? Is there plans for that?
When it comes to food security, access is one of the most difficult things. And for small regional communities, that's even more pronounced. So yes, we're continually expanding into the small communities where there is a high need, but limited access.
Yeah. What do you think that will look like in terms of the community over the next decade or so? Is there any ideas on how big it could grow because the need is there?
Hopefully it would reduce, and that we wouldn't be having so many people knocking on our doors. Yeah.
So far, I've shown you that Geelong has plenty to offer: adventure, opportunity and community support. But what do the people who actually made the move say about the place now? People like Zoe Waters, who arrived 20 years ago without knowing anybody in the city. Nat Anson, a country kid who couldn't wait to get out of Melbourne quick enough after studying. And Ellen Fox, a friend of mine since high school. When she told me she was leaving Melbourne for Geelong 11 years ago, I thought, why the hell would you do that?
What Geelong's given me and my family is that sort of inner city lifestyle that we were looking for in Melbourne, but were priced out of. And instead of moving to the deep suburbs of Melbourne, we just thought, why don't we just take the jump, move to Geelong, have that sort of lifestyle that we always enjoyed, but just in a different location.
For me, it's the career opportunities. It's a great place to bring up a family, great sporting opportunities, concerts. We've got the Geelong Arts Centre, Nyaal, Banyul about to open next year. There's so much opportunity, and the growth and the development, if you blink, you'll miss it.
That event was basically around the decision to have kids and where do we want to do that? There's only one place from a regional Victoria perspective that can meet both that aspiration to get out of Melbourne but still retain the capacity to have a career, have that sense of community that you get from the country. I'm coaching under-10s basketball tomorrow at 2 o'clock. All of the people that I deal with professionally are also down at the footy club, or their kids are playing for the other team. You see and intermingle with people professionally and socially. Makes doing business in Geelong really fun and really engaging. I'd say the convenience of being able to get to Melbourne is part of the appeal of Geelong too, I think, for a lot of people.
When I lived and worked in Melbourne, it would take me door to door about an hour and a half to get to work.
Well, how far were you going?
It was probably only 25k. To get from my house now to Melbourne CBD, it's probably about 56 minutes on the train.
And in terms of your lifestyle outside of work, what are you doing?
Well, I've got a nearly 2-year-old, so we're not quite coaching basketball, but we have just started.
You're just dealing with temper tantrums?
Yeah, absolutely. They're all very fun. He keeps us very busy. We spent last weekend in Lawn. We're spending next weekend in Port Arlington. So we like to get around as much as we possibly can.
I had a 1-week-old child when we moved all of our into a new home. And I just started my new Geelong job the week before that. Totally brand new town with no one that we knew. Those are challenges, but what I would say is you become part of the community almost immediately. And
How did you do that though?
It's hard to put a finger on it. About 6 weeks after having started that job, I went up to Melbourne, and my perception of Melbourne, where I'd lived for 12, 13 years, had totally changed. I think part of the ease of that transition is frankly how easy living here is.
I had made the decision to move to Geelong as a 17-year-old. I was in that time of your life where you're looking for that independence. So I applied for Deakin, fortunate enough to get in. We got heavily involved with my roommates in the local footy club at Newtown, and they became my network. And I started a job in hospitality, and I reckon it was like a month or two, and I was like, I've never made a better decision in my life. Geelong is my home, and it'll be my forever home.
Did your parents try to talk you out of it?
I think they were terrified, but they were also happy that I was in a place that they knew had those country values, that I'd be okay. They're about to put their property on the market and move here, so to have a holiday house here. My younger sister's moved here. She sort of saw the love that I had for this city and wanted to join it as well.
That's a similar story for your husband's family, right?
Exactly. So we moved down, and then a few years later, his auntie, mother and sister have moved down. I think we were a bit surprised. They were obviously coming down more, and then realised this place has a lot to offer.
We were sort of in our circle of people, the pioneers of moving to Geelong. My wife's 2 best friends and their families have moved scarily close to our house. It's a really substantial network of professionals in Geelong that have made that conscious choice to move here, continue their professional careers. We've seen a massive change in the last 8 years where it felt like there wasn't too many.
My advice is maybe speak to somebody you might know who lives here, or even just come on down and maybe just ask some people walking down the street. That is the journey of people who are living here now. They have come here from somewhere, and we're here for a reason. And I don't think we're shy in telling people why we live here. It's a great balance.
Get involved in a sporting club, a community group, or a team of some description.
What if I'm no good at sport?
I would say volunteer then. Volunteer in an area of interest to you and your family. You'll meet people that are passionate about our region, that will be able to guide and teach you around what's unique about Geelong. You'll never regret getting involved.
Park any concerns about your capacity to find really great work, or the fact that your employer would be concerned about you moving to Geelong in the first place. There is no limit on your prospects. In fact, I'd say in many cases your prospects will increase because there's a real desire for a skilled workforce in Geelong.
Just do it.
Geelong is certainly not Sleepy Hollow anymore. Sure, it's quieter and more relaxed than a capital city, but that's a major draw card for relocators. And if hollow can be applied to people, I don't see that trait in the residents that I've met. Some within this community have seen opportunity and are building for Geelong's future, which is important, while others work hard to ensure society's most vulnerable are supported and cared for. It's obvious that nobody has given up much by moving away from wherever that was, but they've all gained so much more by moving in.